Can this dude just not be corny? I'm not talking about me. I know y'all think you're funny. Yeah, I'm not talking about me. All right. I'm talking about Tory Lanez, right? So a bunch of y'all on Twitter, I'm taking a break from social media, which feels great, by the way. It feels great. But a lot of people on Twitter were saying and adding me in every little situation saying, oh, DAX, YouTube sensation, released a diss track on Tory Lanez because Tory Lanez did this idiotic challenge a couple weeks ago talking about how he's the best rapper alive and nobody wants to smoke with him, and he's going at artists who are bigger than him and then trying to make it seem like they didn't want the smoke if they didn't respond when really they probably just don't give a shit about him. So Joyner Lucas and Tory had a back and forth. Don Q and Tory had a back and forth. Cuban Doll jumped in to give her 2 cents about Tory's fetishes. And so here we are today. DAX released his track, I'm Not Don Q or Joyner Lucas, a couple days ago, and I listened to it. A bunch of y'all were going crazy saying it was the best diss. No, it wasn't. However, I think out of everyone who had something to say back at Tory Lanez, he was a guy who mentioned something that many others didn't really mention in it. It came in the form of insulting Tory Lanez discography and the music he makes, saying you make music for the bitches and I make music for legacies, and a bunch of other MCs make music with purpose. You know, how can you be the greatest rapper alive if you have no substance? And that's true to a degree. But it seems a couple days before that, Tory Lanez issued DAX a warning saying that I don't want this to escalate. Relax, bro. You know, you're doing too much. I don't know you, you don't know me. This rap shit, sometimes it don't end up as rap shit. Basically, it was his warning to DAX. DAX, seeing this as the opportunity that it is, decided to go through with it anyway, and release the song based off of the amount of feedback he received on his social media. Cool. Actually, not cool as it pertains to Tory Lanez, because he pulled up on him a couple days later, asking him to apologize. Excuse me, not asking, telling him to apologize. To which Dax kindly obliged and said, my bad, bro. Sorry, bro. So, you know what? Cut the tape. Cut the tape. Right there. This is where I'm about to get pissed off. Number one, Tory Lanez issues a challenge telling every rapper, I'm accepting all. If you want to go at me, but I'm the best. He issues this as a music challenge, as an artist, as a rapper. Not an artist, as a rapper. And then when a guy responds to you, you tell him, I'm not in the mood. These are direct words from Mr. Lanez himself. Mr. Lanez saying that sounds insane. For a genre of music, for as masculine as Tory Lanez tries to present himself as, being as small as he is, I know he's got the Napoleon complex. I know that's a thing. But for as masculine as he tries to portray himself as being, telling another man, I'm not in the mood is crazy. That shit right there is comedy. But for this to be the guy that issues the challenge, why are you then putting restrictions on who can challenge you? I mean, you get to say any and everybody else's name and you don't have to take any kind of accountability? Like, nobody can say your name, or certain people can and certain people can't? I don't remember you having that energy when you tried to tell Royce the 5'9", a man in his 40s almost, to suck your dick, and then completely shifting your energy when you got a phone call from the man. A phone call. It's like you forgot. It's like you think we forgot what happened. Aren't you the same guy that was trying to pass yourself off as Drake's little brother? I'm not taking this dude seriously, pulling up on rappers just because they said his name in a diss record. I'm sorry, but I just can't do that. You don't get to pull your phone out after you and 3 or 4 of your dudes chase somebody after they got from a show, which is exactly what happened with Dax. You don't get to pull out your phone when you are in a position of advantage and then try to punk this dude as if you did this by yourself. Now wait, I know a lot of people are going to echo the sentiment, oh, y'all into that old generation shit, that one-on-one shit don't work no more, that fighting shit don't work no more. Cool, you can think that if you want to. The last thing though I'm going to do is pull out my phone again as if I get brownie points. I'm going to sit down. You know what? Fine, cool. The thing, if you don't want to view that as corny, you don't have to view it as corny. I got an issue with Dax for saying sorry, but I'll explain why he probably did it. And I got a huge issue for Tory for doing what he did. The one reason that he did this to Dax and didn't do it to, let's say, Royce or Joyner. I don't really know if he knows the full scope or not of Joyner, but it looks at least as if Joyner has been in this long enough that he would have somebody backing him, somebody streetwise backing him. There's a reason why he didn't pull up on Don Q and certain other artists who have called him certain things in the industry. There's a reason, right? Because he knows that Dax doesn't have an OG. He knows that he has no one backing him. He knows that he probably doesn't have a gangster in his corner. He knows he probably doesn't have these goons like Tory might have. He knows that probably isn't a possibility for Dax at the moment. Because Dax, his net worth, I don't think is high enough. And the methods in which he uses to popularize himself, I don't think are from the type of individual or the caliber of black man that you would assume has OGs behind him. And that's no diss or insult to Dax, but he doesn't seem to carry himself like a street guy, which is why internet personas are the best thing in the world, because people always think they've got one up on you until they realize they don't have one up on you. Issue with Dax in this video is more so apologizing, because the last thing I'm gonna do if an artist comes at me for something I said in a diss record is apologize for said diss record, because no matter what you do or whatever challenge is in front of me, my mind isn't going to be changed on what I felt and said in that record, because I fully, wholeheartedly believe it. What am I saying sorry for when I said everything I needed to say in that clip that you heard? But let's say there were guns to his face, right? Speaking for myself, I'm insane enough to call the bluff. I really am. Maybe you'd see my head blown away, or maybe, you know, I'd still be here, but I'm probably dumb enough and insane enough to call the bluff. Whereas Dax, who in this situation, putting himself out there, knowing the reception that he might get for doing what he did, I fully respect him. I really do. I do understand. I 100% get it. But again, you should not challenge artists who are on a higher scale. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. You should not challenge artists who are a bigger scale than you, whose net worth is so much more than yours, because you never know what tactics they could use to retaliate outside of rapping. This was a lesson learned for Dax, because you have a bunch of emotional ass rappers in the game right now that are in moods that will retaliate in ways outside of the diss records that you originally thought you'd be getting. So it's unfortunate that Dax had to learn this way, but he learned. It also helps to read these situations. The way my brain just works though, I'm so stupid sometimes. I've been through some insane situations, but I'm really stupid when I want to be. And in my head, if these dudes chased me, in my head, I'm already safe. Because there's no dudes on earth that are gonna pull out guns when I see them and stop me, and they had the biggest opportunity to do so and shoot me while I was running. There's no way, just in my head. That's my crazy brain, right? Maybe I'm stupid, but that's just my brain. If you were gonna kill me, you would have done it while I had my back turned. You're not gonna put a phone in my face asking me to apologize and then threatening to shoot me or kill me if I don't. That's what I'm not taking seriously. So maybe Dax hadn't been in that situation. He doesn't know how to handle it. Or maybe he's just not, maybe he's too smart for it. Maybe he's too smart to test it. And I respect that. But Tory Lanez, the biggest hypocrite I've ever seen. Like, how do you, in your diss record to Don Q, say you had this energy for me but didn't say nothing to Kodak? You had that energy for Dax but didn't have it for Don Q or Joyner to pull up on them. How in your diss to Don Q said pussy gotta keep a gun on his waist because you little niggas scared to get punched in your face, when that's likely the same situation that you put Dax in? How do you, as a man, and I don't want to sound sexist, because just as a human being with any kind of dignity and pride in yourself, how do you feel good knowing you had somebody in a situation of extreme disadvantage, recording them as if you did something? But that's the game, right? A lot of your favorite rappers are high school bullies, high school lames that got some money, got out of high school because nobody knew who they were, and then they started putting on this image, putting on this persona, as if they were somebody different than who they were when the people who were regular with them knew them when they were regular. Because again, like I said, this is the same kid that was talking about he was Drake's little brother, right? So Drake's little brother wilding right now. He wilding. The only people that can learn something in this situation really is DAX. Because Tory Lanez, if you are however old you are, and still moving the way you do, there's really no way somebody can change you. Like, if this is how you move, you always gonna be a clown. You're always gonna be a clown. There's no advice anybody can give you. In Dax's case, it'd be much better in his position if, I don't know, this is just kind of why you need to know certain people. You do. And I don't just mean that for rappers. I just mean people in general. Know certain people. I'm not saying you got to use them. I'm not saying they're going to be trump cards, but just know certain people. Know people different from yourself. Don't detest the idea of things that you disagree with to the extent that you're unwilling to associate with it, because it can give you a better understanding of the situation. Maybe if somebody would have talked to Dax from the perspective of, what he might detest in his music, he might not be in this situation right now. Maybe if Dax had a drug dealer on his payroll or a dude from the street giving him game saying, hey, this dude is a different caliber of rapper than you are, he might retaliate different than a diss track, then this situation might not have happened. It's so sick. It really is sick when you seek out individuals that you're gonna have an advantage on. That's so sickening to me, especially after knowing the way the conversation with you and Royce probably went. Oh my God, this is the most sickening thing ever. That's really all I got to say. I would have probably respected this situation more if I heard Dax come out a little bit later with a story talking about Tory Lanez just ran up on me, because then there would be no evidence or no proof. Then Tory Lanez would have been able to keep it for himself and use it as advantage later if Dax ever got crazy. But that's not what happened. You're corny, Tory, and your catalog still don't make you the best rapper. This didn't prove anything. It just made you look worse. If you are a young rapper and you're going at somebody who's significantly larger than you are, just know they're probably on some fuck shit, and they're probably a corny ass dude that's gonna try some shit like this. All right? Peace.